Husband. Wake up! It's talk o'clock. Look at the watch. Talk o'clock. It's the imaginary watch?
Hello again.
Well, hi there. It's another Sunday and he's back. He behaved. / the stats showed that you guys liked him, so I thought, well.
Which is entirely not understandable for me, but yeah, okay.
Well,
Also, I'd like to know how I got here, because I woke up, had a different shirt on, and just... You said that the handkerchief was not filled with chloroform, but...
No, it wasn't.
Anyway, hello! Oh, we were there already.
Yeah, I guess we're kind of tired still. We have our second cup of coffee. Trying to wake up, and you will see how that works for us.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, bomb. Yeah. Typical Sunday morning at King's Castle. Anyway, yeah, another week has gone by, and there's a couple of art stuff and board game plays that went down here. So let's start with the art stuff. So you can have a nap for 5 seconds.
I wasn't aware I'm supposed to be co-moderating this as well.
No, but you are allowed to react to what I say, like with your features. No. Come on. Make an effort. So if you hear some snoring, that's not our spider living underneath the tape. Jesus Christ. It's not the spider that's snoring, that's him. Anyway, so art stuff. This week's art piece was a project that I started 4 days ago. I think it was 4 days ago that I had the idea. Yeah, your talk o'clock says it's 4 days. And that will continue to grow over the next weeks / months, because as you can kind of guess in the wall back there, I have the other thing right here where the puzzle is hanging, and that wall is rather huge. So it's gonna be a huge puzzle that's gonna be there when I'm done. So you saw the first four pieces in that violet bluish color that I made. And I hope, husband, that you did your homework and watched the video to tell me shitty idea, okay, or whatever.
So the thing, there are concerns attached with the whole idea, because then he said, I'll continue doing this until it fills the room.
No, not the room, just that one wall.
And if that wall isn't enough, do we have to move again? Or will you just replace pieces?
No, it will be done then. I have to have some other ideas then. We will move at
ideas
one point.
Like get a bigger wall. Or...
No. Well, I could... No. No, not gonna happen. Don't give me that idea. No, don't do it. Because we only have white walls in our whole apartment, which has like 2 floors. And
in theory, we have white walls in our apartment, except for this room, because there is someone painting, Others hire cheerleaders for them too, but there are people who are obviously painting like this.
Yeah, you know that I either listen to a podcast or an audiobook or quite danceable music when I paint. So of course I might dance and then look like a cheerleader with paintbrushes.
Just to point out, I'm the one with spraying paint by compressed air and having white walls. And there's the other one who's only applying paint in a very controlled fashion.
No, I don't.
In a
It's
very
uncontrolled.
controlled fashion via a brush in a very limited area on a canvas. And for some reason, the wall became the canvas and still is, as I... Yeah.
If you want to know how that happens, check out the broken video on this channel. You can see me painting, like throwing paint on a canvas there. It's kind of like a Pollock style, so sorry for being creative.
Oh, Pollux. So like bollocks, but with a P.
Yeah, with a hard B.
Yeah, I see.
Well, the part from Germany where I come from, we don't have a P. We just have B's. Soft and hard B's. Anyway, what did you think about the jigsaw puzzle idea? We try to go for 30 minutes only today. Let's see if we can manage. Check the clock.
Not very much, because I wasn't able to solve it. It only has 4 pieces, and I still haven't found the edge piece. So, or the corner piece for that matter.
There's one corner piece. The one with the flower is supposed to be a corner piece.
Okay, so
I don't want to go below it because with the.
So I'm trying to look at the reference picture, which looks like this in a form, and it's like, okay, what kind of where's the
flower.
corner?
It's the lower left.
Okay. But other than that, great idea.
Wow. Honey, haven't you ever been to a management meeting where they tell you when you have people working for you and they've done something shitty, always point out 3 positive things first and then go with the not so good stuff? You just totally flipped that.
Oh no, that was the positive.
Oh shit.
No, I in fact do like the idea, but the term puzzle is a little bit misleading at this point.
At this point, maybe, yeah. Well, wait for another couple of weeks and you can see why it's a puzzle.
Because I'll be puzzled looking at it.
Totally.
So that is the message
yeah.
conveyed through
It's
the
like
art, placed inside my head. It's like, it is called a puzzle, but it is not a puzzle, but you will be puzzled.
When you're standing in front of the wall with all those colored tiles and you're standing there like, I don't know, a rabbit in front of a snake that's gonna eat you. It's like, totally puzzled.
It must be a fairly big snake.
I'm gonna knit one. I'm gonna bake one.
No.
No?
No.
No. We don't like snakes a lot. Anyways, so the idea with the puzzle was that I'm having a lot of cardboard boxes from various deliveries by Amazon stuff lying around here.
They don't pay us yet. So
Well, maybe they will after this video. So I have tons and tons and tons of cardboard boxes.
Cardboard. Really must fold things. Yeah, please continue.
I'm trying. I'm still
Cardboard approves.
I'm still only partially awake. That's kind of a challenge here. So anyway, and they take up a good lot back there in my studio, and now is the time that I say, too much. I have to do something with that, other than packing up my art stuff that I deliver to the recipients. So I thought, well, that would be kind of a cool canvas. It's rather cheap, I'd have to say. I have tons of it. I can have dimensions that I want, or weird shapes that I want, that jigsaw puzzles have, by the way. And have some more than 10-year-old colors be used up on that project. So it's gonna be kind of like a rainbow. I see you look at him. It's so weird. And you, it's like, ugh, I can feel your breath. Yeah, so that was the intention, and it's also kind of like an art journal because I paint whatever comes to my mind in that minute. It's not planned out, not at all. So I just know that I'm gonna go for kind of like a rainbow with the colors.
A 10-year-old rainbow. Prehistoric double rainbow. Cardboard it proves.
Sometimes I want to just. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, this is very, very important, certainly.
What?
Please
me
continue.
Hitting you?
Please continue.
Me hitting you, or which part? The rainbow part?
Talking about art.
Oh,
not
yeah.
the art of hitting me, but
no. Well, the art is to make it look as if it was unintentional, like me bumping into you.
I don't know how you would do that.
I don't know either. Anyway, so seriously.
Be like the grass in the wind.
Am I the flower?
No.
What am I?
I don't know. The rock on.
Charming, isn't he? Huh? He was so nice last week. That was a con. Like you being totally nice and lovable, and
I'm super nice because I'm not the one doing the editing.
Oh, this is gonna go uploaded like no editing at all. The world has to see what you're like. Well, anyways, so otherwise for the art stuffy things, I did a lot of writing on my novel. So another 2 scenes are done. Anyway, what else happened kind of being creative-wise? Yes, I started a new knitting project for autumn. I'm gonna make myself a nice jacket. Jesus, just stop it, please. Yay, thank you. I'm gonna make myself a new jacket, and I did start that project, and I'm quite fast this time. It's like 50% of the backside are already done. So now my fingers are hurting.
Maybe Cardboard can help you out. He's really crafty.
You know, the Cardboard will eat your dinner, which is one of your favorites, if you're not nice today. You want to be nice?
No, I'm...
Want to be nice?
I'm super nice all the time.
In regards to what? Or who?
More of a lowered expectations type of thing.
Lowered or lower?
Lowered.
Maybe I have to lower mine too. Anyway, so that was my art stuff. What did you do? Artsy wise. I think you airbrushed something again. Something I like.
Multiple things. So I airbrush mostly my fingers because I'm a big fan of not wearing gloves while airbrushing. So
it's not that I bought the size for you. Your size.
They're too big for me.
Okay.
Because they were not really bought for me. I think they were bought for you, and then you found out that you can live inside them size-wise and gave them to me, and I found out that even my not slightly small hands...
Yeah, they were the kind of gloves that you use if you color your hair and not if you go to the dentist and they have the form-fitting
Another thing, they're not really good for holding little plastic figurines without them going away.
Well, if you'd have my size of hands, you could use my gloves that I have that are really like tight and like from the if you would be a doctor, those.
Yes.
Snap. So now go. I get a coffee.
So I continued painting the zombie side figures. Specifically, so the zombies are all done, and unfortunately for me, there's a new shipment of one of the expansions arrived, bringing zombie dogs and the dog survivors in. So that will be happening soon too. So far, there's only 2 survivors left, and the big abomination, and then the base set is all painted, which was quite a lot of work, to be honest. But it's adding a lot to the game, being able to have different zombies on there, and they're actually looking cool or cooler than before. That really brings up the atmosphere, and specifically with a game like Zombicide, it's so very atmosphere driven, and yeah, it just adds to the overall experience.
I just had an idea. Once you're done with the basic set,
I'm going to pretend that there's no season 2 or season 3 or the expansion 2 before season 2 and season 3.
So, once you're done with the remaining survivors and the abomination, I would like to take a high-res photo of all the miniatures that you painted for the game without the doggies. And then we can put it onto your Facebook, and I can share it on my Facebook page so that you guys can see what we're talking about with those awesome-looking miniatures.
Oh, sure.
So, remember that. Please make a note.
On my invisible typewriter.
On your cardboard. Yeah. So, that was that art-wise. Or did you have any other art stuff?
No, I think that was it. So the interestingly enough, the time-wise, the survivors took almost as long, or one survivor takes as long as a batch of 8 zombie figurines, simply because they're way more detailed. Yep. And also I've tried to add a little bit more detail to them than to the zombies, simply because these are the player characters and you identify with them. They should look slightly more awesome or slightly more lifelike, whereas the zombies can get away with looking a little bit comical.
Yeah.
Despite the entire game being a comical game, but that I think it helps.
I really love that. Well, my favorite survivor character is Wanda. I love to play her. And when he was painting her, I was allowed to make a request, color-wise.
No, you didn't. You weren't allowed to. You just appeared and said, "I want those rolls to be orange."
Well, you could do the good husband thingy and just not listen. See, it works.
I was allowed to make a request, or in reality,
you heard me.
I showed up 5 to 200 times and saying, "If you're doing Wanda, I wonder if you could add a little orange to the shoes, because I like orange."
Like her rollerblades have red wheels, and I'm an orange lover, so I wanted to have her.
Orange connoisseur.
Yes. Also, I thought that would fit perfectly with the chainsaw because that has an orange handle thingy. So.
True.
Anyway, you will see those characters on the Facebook pages. And now, ding 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 ding. Board games! Second topic. We're halfway through. It's 24 minutes. I might have to edit something. So, husband, what did we play?
We played not so many games this time round. So
Check the list.
we had two new games, as I guess we said last time, the Cave and Caverna, which are both cool, but they're very different games. Caverna is more of a luck-based tile-laying game where you I think I explained that, where you go spelunking into a cave and
yeah, you did the cave. You didn't do Caverna.
Draw tiles.
Because we said we don't do that until we played it, and now we played it.
And Caverna is, how to describe?
I said it's an extended version of Lords of Waterdeep with dwarves.
Yeah, it's Lords of Waterdeep has way more interaction than Caverna. Caverna only has interaction between players in terms of, and let's see what happens if I take that away. But
or who goes first.
But you're not really taking something away from someone. You just take the option to get something potentially away from someone.
Which I did, and you hated me.
So the entire game starts off. You are somewhere living in a cave with your two dwarves, and there's land in front of the cave that you can plow and cultivate for food, or you can go digging mine shafts and excavating ores from the cave. And each turn simply consists of, you have two dwarves, so you can assign them work to do from a board of options that is available, and once one option has been selected, no other player and even yourself cannot use that place again until the next round. And the entire game goes for 12 rounds, I think. On a two-player game, it's 11 rounds.
It's 11 rounds, yeah.
But it's so that means you would, in a 12-round game, would never be able to use a single field more than 12 times. Among all players distributed. So what you're doing, your main objective is to keep your family alive by feeding them, and you can feed them either by slaughtering animals, or by giving them vegetables, or by crops, or mining ores and then selling those for food and trading in, or you can use those ores to smith weapons for your dwarves and send them out to conquer the world as the great tyrannical dwarf that he's supposed to be. I don't know. Or they can they can mate and give you more dwarves, which is thematically called child labor, because you're sending those small dwarves then also on those action fields.
But they're adults after one round.
Yeah,
so
they're adults after one season. So
yeah, it's usually one round, two at the most.
Yeah,
if you're not.
Yeah. Well, despite that, so the entire game, you only have an idea if you're in the lead or not. It's one of those games with a lot of things, a lot of gears being put into place, and you start cranking the machine, and at the end there's a number coming out, and it's saying, hey, you won, or somebody else has won, because pretty much everything you do is worth points at the end of the game, but it's very hard even for yourself to keep track of how many points you have.
Yeah.
Without seriously annoying other players at the table, because it's like, oh, hold on, I need to count out how much I got here.
Yeah, and it's you're so busy with planning ahead what you do and how you're gonna proceed, like which one of those options you have to use in a certain round with a certain dwarf to achieve whatever, getting pumpkins or 2 more mules, and you really don't have the time and the attention to see what the other person is doing in detail and counting that number, so you really don't know who's in the lead during the game.
So once you're playing, you have to sort of decide for a strategy and commit to that. One might be you're going to be a farmer, so you will plow a lot of fields and try to grow a lot of crops or vegetables on there. Or you can go the route of having a lot of animals. And trying to get more animals until the end and create spaces for them to live. Or you could go mining all the way. So my strategy last time we played was go for mining and also use those mining resources to send my dwarves out for world domination, conquering issues being handled, and that turned out pretty well. On the other hand, I was then obviously lacking all that vegetable department in front of my house. And the game tries to balance that out by you're getting negative points if you're lacking some things, if you don't have all the animal types, if you don't have all fields plowed. But you will never really be able to do everything, and it's generally a bad idea to do anything. It's way better to literally say, okay, I'm going to be the most badass conqueror in the world, and just that's the way to go, and all my children will be the great descendants of the great conquering dwarf, and going onto the world, building the dwarven empire somewhere. While it's also perfectly valid to say, okay, I'm going to be the best vegetable farmer ever being conceived. So
which I did.
Yeah. So it's strangely enough that game has connotations similar to, let's say, video games like Minecraft or Dwarf Fortress, where you're assigning things to be done and sort of crafting by combining resources into new rooms and expanding, and new rooms give you new abilities and add to your points at the end of the game. But it is very much a solitaire experience. So Caverna is certainly a game where two or more, or even you can actually play it solo, but who would do that?
If you don't have friends.
Yeah.
That game.
Well, we don't, but we still play together. So
I have friends that play with me other than you.
What?
Games! Board games! We're talking about board games! Jesus.
So the Caverna very much feels like you're sitting with other people around the table and everybody is playing his own little, almost puzzly game. It almost feels more like a puzzle, like trying to find the optimal way for your strategy to go for.
Yeah, that's what I meant, felt like Lords of Waterdeep.
Yeah. And on the other hand, you only have, in a sort of peripheral vision, try to figure out what the other player's strategy is, and if you can afford to spare an action of your dwarves to sort of interfere with that. For example, seeing that the other person really, really needs a lot of wood or stones, you could just go in there and take that field. And because that action was taken, they don't get any stones. And people will be outraged at the table and say, how could you? I was supposed to send my dwarf out there, and no, somebody else already did.
Well, what he did with the mining spaces, he had some interior work done on his cave. The first one was...
interior decoration.
Yeah, right. The first one was that 7 minus points would be turned into positive points at the end of the game. So I was actually saving up money, like wood and stone, to get that tile, and just one turn, I just had one turn left, and then I would have been able to afford it, and he took it. So that was...
the plan all along!
Anyway, he had the dwarves that went out on adventures, all of his 3 dwarfs. So there's a tile that would give him extra points like 3 points per dwarf that went on adventures. And I had only one dwarf that went out there and conquered the world. And my other 2 were stay at home, like stay at cave home, whatever. So I was, just to be a bitch, I bought that tile 1 turn before he wanted to have it, and just it was not helping me with my strategy, but it was definitely taking away points from him, which is also a nice strategy. Sometimes if you see that you can't achieve all you want to do in a certain turn and the other one seems to be way ahead, just screw with whatever they're doing and buy off certain tiles that are only in the game once. It pissed him off.
And that's the point where you're almost come to a situation where everybody at the table is pulling out a calculator. And because the decision to be made there is, am I denying points to the other person? Is that indifference worth more for me than using that action for something that gives me points?
Sometimes you don't have, with the last dwarf, you can't do anything that would really help you along, because all the spaces where you get that stuff are already occupied. Yeah. So what do? You screw with the other.
But there's at least in theory, if you're literally playing this as a solo game, there is something to be like a perfect strategy for certain ways of playing through that, and there is randomization in terms of when which action will come available. So these 12 or 11 or how many you have actions are sort of randomized, but not really. You know that within the first 3 cards there's going to be these 3 actions, but you don't know in which order they show up. So there is a little bit of luck involved there in terms of when does the card come up, or better said, you have to decide early on by which cards are out, which strategy you're going for, and what makes sense for you. The start of the game is fairly similar for a lot of these strategies, because somehow it always comes down to you have to increase your size of the family to just gain more actions, and that starts in turn 4 in every game. So everybody will try to get that third dwarf in game 3, in game 4.
So the dwarves fuck like hell to make a baby.
And that then trickles down into a battle for who's going to play first in the fourth round or space, and there's a lot of predictable things happening, and then there's a lot of you don't really want to know too much what the other person is doing, because you're focusing on making all those calculations for winning or victory point maximization, I would call it. So I think it is a game best played for 1 or 2 rounds. It surprisingly, I feel it takes almost longer to set up than to play at times.
Yes, I was about to say that too.
But that is because of the millions of pieces in there. Specifically, if you're playing with only 1 or 2 person people. Players.
That's the technical term.
Okay. Participants.
Ooh, he's awake. He can say those words.
So then you have to understand this box contains all the stuff required to play with 7 people.
Yeah.
So you have towers of tiles in front of you.
Gazillion.
Which doesn't help that you still have to sort them, even though you're not using all of them or many of them, but you still have to sort them and set them up and get things done. So it's almost a game worth getting out if you have 3 or more people around. So the box itself says, I think, half an hour per player.
Yeah.
Which could be true. I think
it feels true, but we don't take long to finish up our turns. We plan ahead, way ahead, while the other one is doing their stuff.
Oh, we appear to be planning ahead.
So no, what I meant is we don't sit there. We don't need a chess clock to say, "Come on, do your turn." Don't waste any time. We're rather quick with our actions.
I could see that the game would benefit from that, and just sort of forces you to take an action. And, but yeah.
So
again,
with us, we don't need that because we play rather fast.
I mean, what's a really nice experience with the game is just the fact that it is so tactile. You sow corn, so you take your little corn thing, place it down, add more corn on it, and when there's a harvest, you start getting things in. You have all those little sheeps and dogs, and there's a lot of stuff to move about, and it is very appealing in its art style and handling of the animals, and it is also very satisfying if you're. It is very satisfying to see how your cave is filling up with rooms and.
I'm sorry.
So if you're similar to us,
which is impossible,
who like ordering things and placing things, and they all looking neat, symmetrical, or something like that. That is certainly a game that you would be able to consider doing that.
Also, if you want to shorten the setup time for the game, we just went to a hardware store and got one of those little plastic sorting boxes that people use for screws or whatever they know. Don't do what I did. For little things or buttons, needles and pins when you're a knitter. So those little tiny boxes help a lot with the wooden pieces that you can pre-organize in there. Just put that plastic box into the cardboard game box. And that's it. So you just spare a lot of time there.
Don't put it into the cardboard.
I hate you.
Cardboard doesn't not like.
No. Gosh. So anyway, that's actually advice for a lot of board games that do have gazillions of pieces that you could pre-organize and just put the box out on the table and say, okay, here we go. Helps a lot.
But I would almost recommend Caverna for if you have a family and your kid is maybe 12 years old, something like that. That could be a great game.
I think it was 10.
Yeah,
that 10, they set on the box, but I wouldn't go any younger.
It almost has that feel of wooden toys, simply because there's so many pieces of wood in there, and with the cardboard pieces, it's all very. You can have your little farm, and you could almost. I'm pretty sure you could sell this to a kid as a sort of Minecraft board game, or not for being able to put all the creative stuff and building with blocks, but being able to create your own home, create your own farmlands, and raise your family in there and expand and send them on to an adventure. So not so many creepers in there, but that's a good thing, except someone blows up the table and just goes.
That could have been me. It's unconfirmed reports.
The other games, we obviously played the Cave, which I would assume we have to try out with more than just two people or two players,
participants.
And just see how that goes. Otherwise, it's very, very luck based.
It was this with the squeezy thingies, it was the same thing for me. So our caves looked very much like in the first try of the game, and I was pissed off at turn 3, which is not good.
Oh, well. I mean, on the other hand, we always played that in terms of, hey, I'm going to explore my part of the cave, you're going to explore your part of the cave.
Yeah, but
so
if I go with you into the same cave, then and you go first, then you get all the bonus points, and I just tag along. That's not.
No, you would overtake me.
I would.
In most cases, you would overtake me because
Let's try that tonight.
If you're playing a rope, you can just move through that space, and then I have to pay 2 actions to get 1 field further, and you can just bypass me with a single action.
Let's try that tonight after dinner.
Anyway, in terms of tile laying based game news, we also played Carcassonne,
the
Castle again.
Yes, 3 times.
Which is a bad game.
No, it's totally awesome.
I utterly dislike it.
I love it.
Simply because there's too many roads, and you can play any tile in the game and put it anywhere. The only limiting factor is if there's a road, it has to be continued with a road for some reason. Now, if you're me and only draw road tiles, and they are all bad, so they're always in a constellation that does not fit with what's on the board. You start looking for other games. It is not a nice experience. I'm almost feeling like her, which I don't want to, because I know her already. I don't need to feel like her. I don't want to be the loser. But it would
so broaden your mind. I won the last... Well, we played 3 times, and the first time ever that I won at a Carcassonne game was the first castle game this week, and I won by 1 point. I had 89, he had 88. So it was just
preposterous.
In my mind, it was like, it's just by accident. It was just luck. Second game, I won with 10 points. Third game with 12 points. And it was like, ooh, this is kind of like a Rummy Cup situation where I won for years. And then I met him and played the game with him, and it was like 10 months that I won every fucking game. And then we went on vacation, took the game with us. And ever since, he's always winning Rummy Cup. I'm always losing. Like, big time. So, I think that situation...
Always.
Yeah, like every time. That's the definition of always.
You have won 1 or 2 games out of 100, maybe.
Wow.
That's not always. You always keep exaggerating those.
When I win at Rummy Cup, it's like by 2 points. When you win, it's like by 40 points. So we have a list where we add up the scores over a year and then count them together. And I did not tell him what the score of last year was like, because it was just too embarrassing. And thank God, I think until now he forgot. So anyway, I think that Carcassonne Castle is the second game where that happens.
If you wondered why her language now descended into profanity, that is because also, that's a perfect segue, our Cards Against Humanity prints arrived.
The extended.
Yeah, a friend of ours translated most of the cards that were not available in German so far.
Mm-hmm.
And was so kind to ask us if we wanted a copy as well. And he just had them made on real nice cardstock material.
Yeah.
And pretty much got them all of them that were out there, right?
Yeah. And a couple of insider jokes in the gaming world.
And if you're not familiar with Cards Against Humanity,
you have been living in some other universe.
Either you're a very good person without any moral implications, problems whatsoever, or you just haven't heard about it and keep on living under a rock. So Cards Against Humanity is very similar to another game called Apples to Apples, which simply plays out by someone asks a question or a statement with some blanks in there that can or have to be filled by all the other players. The other players have a batch of cards in their hand and choose the one that is best fitting for the most funny, humoristic, hilarious, or offending combination that will come up there. So necessarily or unnecessarily to state out, Cards Against Humanity is a very profanity-filled game because it includes very many racist, sexually abusing terms that you sort of have to play, and sometimes not playing the game is the best choice you can make if you want to avoid all that. But then again, if you're
it's
playing,
just in good fun.
If you're playing in a good spirited round, and I mean that literally, so drink a lot, you can get a lot of out of that.
Yeah. And we did play that with our small gaming group on Friday night.
Yeah.
In honor of the new delivery of the cards.
Which was nice because there's so many
cards
we haven't
we
seen
did
so
laugh
far.
a lot.
The game, if you're just playing the base game, it runs its course after a couple of plays, and you sort of, there are combinations of cards that get played all the time, which are
and that
funny
win all the time.
The first time, which were funny the third time, but you need a little bit more variety.
Yeah, but there's certain cards in the base game that are just so legendary. Meanwhile, that they win every time that you play that card.
Yep.
There's only one that does not win with me. One of those legend. If it comes up, it will so lose. William Shatner. That's the card. Everybody chooses it for the win, and I don't.
But that only counts for 2 people in that group. Other guys don't really consider that an epic card.
Well, we had some great combinations with that card already. And it would have been funny, but I just dislike the character.
Yeah. So if you're interested, intrigued, check out Cards Against Humanity because I think the base game can be downloaded in almost most languages that are readable by most people.
Nicely put.
Well, it's not all the languages, but it covers the popular choices of languages, and you can download that as a PDF, bring that to your local
print store,
copy shop,
or Staples, or
print
whatever.
them out and cut them to give it a try. Or if you are understanding what we are saying, which doesn't necessarily mean that you understand English, but that is close enough, you just can buy the base set and the expansions in the English version.
Yeah. Look at the clock, babe. We tried to. We're 14 minutes less.
I'm terrified by the clock. Yeah, but we still have
coffee.
Let's pull through. No, I think we covered most of the interesting part that's been happening.
Or not so interesting
this
part.
Week. I will hopefully get another 1 or 2 survivors down. It's early enough. I might be able to.
Yeah, it's just 2 p.m. So.
And get things done. Then maybe I'll be able to complete most of the Zombicide figurines, and then.
So tonight we have to choose then what we play.
I'm terrified of the thought, but there's the Zombicide dogs that need to be painted, the zombie dogs, the regular dogs, and then there's an entire miniature war game called Warzone, which is not painted yet, and that is a lot of figurines.
Did you put the primer on at least?
Nope.
So they're pure?
Yes.
Okay. Well.
And I might have to get into basing minis with that as well. So making the bases look like real terrain, and I haven't done this at all so far.
Yeah, you bought the stone stuff and like grass thingies, right? So I'm looking at you and I think you're gonna blurt something out in a second. Are you? No? Good. So.
Bye!
Honey, you can go take down the trash meanwhile. I say bye.
This is serious business. Seriously.
Totally serious. Anyway, I hope you had... I can't look at you. I hope you had a great week and enjoyed whatever you did, and enjoy the next couple of days and have fun, and we're gonna see each other on Friday next week for the next art video. So, bye! Say bye, honey. Say bye.
Bye, honey.
Anyway, so...
Bye!
Bye, did I?